We're supposed to fight the fight of faith, but too often we end up fighting an entirely different fight. This past Sunday, the spiritual principle that we covered is we fight by faith each day for what we will have for all eternity. And this spiritual principle comes out of a passage in 2 Timothy 4:7, where the Apostle Paul says, I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith. Now, when we talk about faith, it's important to understand what we mean by that. So here's the definition that we use at Mosaic Community, which was based off of the Bible. Faith is putting my hope in what God has promised in the Bible and then acting upon it. So anyway, we are supposed to be engaged in the daily fight of faith, of putting our hope in God's promises, but too often we end up fighting some other fight instead of the fight of faith. And I just want to give you 5 different fights that we engage in instead of the fight of faith. One would be the fight of justifying myself. This is denying that I've done anything wrong when I actually have. Somebody points it out to me, somebody is challenging me, and rather than hearing what they have to say, listening to their feedback, I deny that I did anything wrong. And here's the thing. When you hope in Jesus and know that He's the one who justifies you, you don't have to justify yourself. When He died on the cross, He justified you, so you can get freed from that fight. The number 2 is making excuses. This is another fight we get in. I'm making excuses for not doing the things that I know I should be doing. What I do is I work really hard, I fight hard to convince myself I don't need to do this thing that deep down I know I need to do. Or I fight really hard to convince everyone else who's telling me that I need to do those things, that I really don't need to do those things. Now here again, we put our hope in Jesus and the power that He gives us in the Holy Spirit. He will give us power to do the things that we need to do. Number 3 is the fight of proving my worth. This has to do with feeling like I always need to accomplish more. I need to do something. I need to win something. I need to succeed at something. I need to finish another task in order to feel valuable. I see my value, my worth is based on accomplishments, success that I have. And here's the thing. When you put your hope in Jesus, in what He's done for you, the cross declares that you are already valuable. So valuable that Jesus laid down His own life for you. So you can get off that hamster wheel of trying to make yourself valuable by what you do and rest in what Jesus has done for you on the cross. Now another fight, number 4, is changing my past. I keep fighting to change my past by lying to myself that I never did these things, that I wasn't involved in those things, or I wasn't this person before, or I lie to other people as well. I just don't want to face who I've been and what I've done in my past. Now here's the beautiful thing about Jesus. He died to allow us to face our past by forgiving all of it. So we can hope in Jesus and then actually be honest about what we've done. We don't have to try to hide that and cover it up. We can be honest to ourselves and say, yes, I did these things and it was wrong. And we could even tell other people, I did these things and it was wrong. But you know what? I'm forgiven. And Jesus promises to restore the years as well. And so here's the number 5. We also, instead of fighting the fight of faith, we fight to stay distracted. And boy, does this happen all the time today. We want to be distracted by entertainment. We want to change the subject when it comes to the topic of matters of eternity. I mean, we don't want to face the fact that we're going to die. And you know, when you read the Bible is just really blunt about this and clear. Like, We are all going to die. You're not going to live forever. But there's this fight that we engage in where I don't want to think about death. I don't want to think about getting older or getting sick or the pain of that. And I change the subject and I put other things in my mind. And here's the thing. When we direct our hope to Jesus, we understand that on the cross, he died, but on the third day, he rose again from the dead. And by doing that, he secured all eternity for us. So when we put our hope in what God has promised in the Bible, we don't have to engage in these other fights. And my encouragement to you is discern when you're starting to fight a different fight than the fight of faith. And we are going to do that. We're going to struggle with that every day. So just say, wait a second. I'm fighting a faith right now. I'm fighting a fight right now that is not the fight of faith. It's something else. So stop fighting that fight and get back to fighting the fight that really matters, and that's the fight of faith.